Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, we're going to be checking out week 2 of Summer of Pain, and this boss seems really, really annoying. So we've got Mr. Sinister that ignores miss effects and also evade effects, which I believe means you can't Quake him, but Quake players, man, I always underestimate them and they always find a way. But there's also polka dot power, so you don't gain any power in this fight unless you have a damage over time effect on Mr. Sinister, so that actually rolls out a lot of good champions and counters. And we also have EMP modification, so you're gonna have to deal with shock in this fight as well. And also at the start of the fight, he gains like 3 random passive effects from his signature ability. So I was thinking Human Torch again. He doesn't rely on special attacks. We are vulnerable with the EMP modification. But I know in the Abyss of Legends, man, Human Torch is so good for Mr. Sinister, but also he takes it like a little while to get into the big damage. So yeah, we're gonna activate the pre-fight ability. Let's go for a booster here. We'll try this with Torch. I think Havok might work okay with this as well. But yeah, I'm interested to try both of those today. I tried out Dr. Doom just for a practice run, and it did not work out too well. Again, Doom is very reliant on those special attacks, and polka dot power like really screws over characters that are very reliant on specials in this fight. So yeah, that's a bit of a pain. Right, let's go for the heavy attack charge here. Want to get that temperature up a little bit. And I think in the Abyss it's better to not use the pre-fight and build up temperature. What is it? Just fine getting your incinerates back, but we also need to see how bad that shock is. And to be fair, man, that shock is like it's pretty bad news. Looking at the damage there. Again, it looks like it is possible to do a Torch using our old friend Unitsman. Very close friend at this point in time. But Torch, I think, again, a really good run. You can probably get about 20-25% with the pre-fight. I'm not too sure, like, without the pre-fight, what the range is there, though. But let's try out Havok in comparison and see how well Havok works for this fight. But also, let me know in the comment section below who you end up using for this fight, because the amount of shock immune champions that don't rely on their special attacks is somewhat limited. But I think Havok, like, absorbing the shocks actually might work out really, really well here, or might be a little bit terrible due to polka dot power, but we're going to find out very shortly, man. I think, you know, the damage over time from the, the heavy attack should give us a pretty good and stable source of damage output. And also, like, when we get a shock or two, yeah, it should work out well, man. But we'll see how this turns out here. Let's just keep it slow. We need to wait for feedback to build up a little bit. You can also like try and be a little bit careful, I guess, and not dash back and actually trigger buffs, because that's the thing that's going to give him what is it? Give him charges so that he can shock you, but we want to shock him here, so that's good. I think Havok could be beasting here, man. I'm getting a good vibe from Havok so far. Should probably shut up and try and focus on the fight, though. I think that'd be the best course of action here. Let's dodge that. Again, Havok's got like such high energy resistance that we are mitigating such a big portion of the damage that he dishes out. But yeah, I don't think we need to dash back any more than is needed. But yeah, it looks like Havok actually has a much easier range to melt down Sinister in comparison to Torch. Okay, we'll go for one dodge there. Yeah, I think we can, if you play this fight like really well with Havok, I think it's possible in a revival too. Solo actually might be possible if you were to play this fight to like absolute perfection. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Havok so far on this one. Okay, right, let's just stay in the zone. Oh, come on. Let's go. Nice, man. I think that should be like just below 50% there. But yeah, there was some definitely very sloppy plays at points in that fight. But overall, man, that was a really, really good try of HAVOK. HAVOK seems like he's a fantastic option for dealing with this Mr. Sinister. Alright, so we just got HAVOK revived up. As long as I don't mess up too much here, man, we should be on good track. But let's give it a go, boys. Right, come on, mate. Maybe I want to chill on the heavy attacks. Actually, I need to just, get some evades. Just so we can get that shock, and then that gets the charges building up on Mr. Sinister like crazy. And they, they flooded a bit too quickly, in all fairness, man. Okay, right. Don't want to trigger, like, too much decks here. We've already given, like, what was it? 3 shocks, which is, yeah, 4 on me, man. It's a few too many. But in all fairness now, like, he just turns, like, all of those shocks into additional damage because it, like, cycles his plasma charges really, really quickly. But I think ideally you want to play, or try and play the slightly longer game so you can get that special 3. A little bit of lucky's down here. I think we just gotta wait out for a sec, and then... Oh, okay, I got no, like, damage over time here now. Oh, actually, none of those count. It should be enough. Let's go. Oh, wow. That was really good, man. That was really, really good. So HAVOK was my my MVP by a country mile for this week. I think it is possible to do a Human Torch. I was having a bit of a look as well at the immunities graph from last year, and again there may be a couple of other champions that can now do this, but this is the immunities chart from last November from Chronic Vasalgia. I think Silver Surfer could potentially work if you're very patient, but also you can't like phase on the heavy attacks as well because he counters miss. Emma Frost, if you have a lot of patience, and I mean a lot, could potentially work there. Corvus, maybe hitting into blocks if you're really really patient. Thing as well, there's a lot of characters that I think could potentially work here, but going to take like a really, really long time, because again, you're looking for that shock immunity. I don't think Magneto would be that great for this fight, considering that, what is it, you can't really like get your special bar up, so yeah, that'd be a very very slow option there. Tarax again is very reliant on those specials, kind of same with Storm Pyramid X, same with Dr. Doom there. Electro, not too sure if he'd end up working. Might be alright actually, because he does get like a fair booster from all of the shocks, but you've also got the healing of Mr. Sinister. But I think in the hands of a skilled player could potentially solo here, unless I'm missing something really, really big. And then we got like OG Thor, maybe Storm as well, Nebula, again, very, very slow options. So I think like HAVOK is probably the best one that I can think of. But I also maybe like missing a champion or two. I'm not too sure if like Ultron after his buff has significant shock resistance, because I know he has like a fair amount of energy resistance, and I know via the awakened ability he has incinerate resistance, but does he also have the shock resistance here? Let me have a quick look on the buffed version of Ultron to see whether or not he'd be a contender. Yeah, it's like minus 80% duration, but I don't know if it applies to like passive effects, so I'll quickly test this out here as well, because I'm not too sure if it's a counter to this node specifically, but if it is, then Ultron could actually be a bit of an interesting one for this fight here. So let's bring in Ultron. My Ultron like really isn't stacked up at all. I actually do need to get him up in all fairness, but let me know if you've tried using like a fully maxed out Ultron, or who is kind of your MVP for this week's fight, because last week I didn't even think about Dragon Man, but Dragon Man was so ridiculously good, so thank you very much to everybody in the comment section that told me about Dragon Man, because yeah, he was just fantastic. But yeah, we get the degeneration on Mr. Sinister here, which is awesome. And then we get... Oh, I was going for the passive evade. But then I forgot that, you know, a very important lesson, guys. He bypasses evade and also miss effects. Wow. This game, you know, it certainly knows how to keep me humble, man. It certainly knows how to keep me very, very humble. But anyway, just to showcase, remind you guys that, you know, he does counter evade. You know, champions that rely on evade or miss aren't going to work out too well for this Mr. Sinister fight. So now we've all learned that incredibly valuable lesson. We can move forward with our day right here. But yeah, it looks like Ultron does reduce the duration. He's still going to take like a fair amount of damage, though. He could be like a viable option to get the fight down, because again, this is only like a rank 2 Ultron. So imagine if you got like a rank 5 with the old Suicide Masteries as well. Again, that healing is going to be quite a bit more significant. So yeah, I see Ultron being like a potential contender for this fight as well. Just make sure you don't rely on the auto evade, or else you're gonna get your cheeks absolutely clapped there. But yeah, that's the really good thing, is that even with like a passive degeneration, he still reduces that, so that's pretty awesome there. Let's chuck this off for a bit of additional damage, and you're gonna have to be pretty snazzy with those evades as well if you really want to get the most out of this man. But I've definitely messed up the the Ultron rotation a fair bit here. But yeah, I definitely see like what is it, a maxed out version? You can get some really significant dents on this. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed week 2 of Summer of Pain and me being a massive noob today. And if you did, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.